that are trying to figure out what the heck is going on with these two horses and this guy that is riding from Austin to Seattle. And let me break it down for you in a really quick synopsis of what's going on. So this guy bought this horse Falcon, or Shiok, from Craigslist about 3 to 5 weeks before he actually went to start this ride. This horse has not been trained for endurance. This guy is not trained for endurance. He doesn't have the proper equipment. He doesn't have the proper feed. He is mooching off of ranchers and young girls all the way up to where he's going. He has stated himself that he has no money and that he is trying to do this ride for a Netflix documentary and to auction off the horses when he's finished for lots of money. The problem is not with long riding. None of us have any kind of issue with long riding. We do have an issue with long riding where the horses are not being taken care of. That the amount of work that they're doing, they are not getting fed appropriately, they're not getting watered appropriately. We are literally watching these horses on a death march, that they're going to die. They will drop, and it's a matter of time. And we've already watched Falcon lose so many pounds. He's no longer plump. He no longer has a top line. You're seeing all of his ribs, his hips, his scapulas, even his eyes are sunken into his head. This horse is not doing well. He's trying to go up the Grand Teton Pass at this time. And if you spot him, we need law enforcement to know where he is so that we can send him out and stop this ride. If you're in that area and you spot him, we ask you to not engage with him at all. Just get a quick pic, a video, so we can confirm that it is him, and then email or use the phone number I'm about to put onto the page here for us, and let us know where he is so we can let law enforcement know. He's already evaded 2 states. He traveled in trailer to evade where he knew that there was a state vet inspection that was going to be happening, and he did it intentionally. And he's continuing to take bike trails, paths that are out of the ordinary and out of the way so that he can try to continue to evade animal welfare for each state. We need your help to save these horses. We are not Karens. We are just so immersed in the horse community that we know what he's doing and what is going to happen to these horses.
And I have a halter, so we gotta improvise. Who said Tennessee walkers couldn't neck rein? I mean, I guess nobody said that, but... Yee!
I'm here to talk to you a little bit about rope halters, something that we have all wanted to learn a little bit more about after seeing the atrocious way Cyril ties his rope halters on his horses. Please watch this video that I recorded earlier today with the world's best lesson pony.
I have my buddy Gus here, and he is going to help us learn how to properly tie a rope halter. Just like any other halter, we're going to put it on, put it over the head like this, tie it, put it through here, right? This is where the tying part happens. Now, how our friend likes to tie it is around the top like this and down like this. This is not where you tie a rope halter. What happens if a horse pulls back or runs off is this just tightens and tightens and tightens, and it can actually tighten across their pole too much and cause some damage. So when you tie a rope halter, you have your loop here, and you want to tie underneath, around, and through like that. When you tie like that, if they pull, it'll only tighten the knot here. It's not going to tighten across their head. And then you have a properly tied rope halter.
So now, let's go look at an example of Cyril tying a rope halter on Falcon. This is from way back at the beginning of the journey, and he is tying it wrong. You can see here I have circled it. He has tied the rope to itself, not the rope to the loop on the halter. The other important part about putting a rope halter on a horse is knowing where to put it on their face. In this picture, you can see this is when he was delivered to Cyril, and it is in the proper place. And I think it's safe to assume that it's in the right place, not because of Cyril, because of his previous owners who put it on him when he was delivered. Why is it safe to assume that? Well, because every other time he has one on him after Cyril takes possession, it's in the wrong place. Our perfect little pony model shows right where the noseband should be on the halter. Don't mind the crown piece, this was way too big for him. Versus here, where you can see it's all the way down by his nose. Here is a visual that shows the too tight halter, too loose halter, and the properly fitted halter. For rope halters especially, you don't want the noseband to be too low because rope halters can be a lot more severe on that tender cartilage. This is just another good visual to show you the difference between an improperly tied halter and a properly tied rope halter. Now, I have seen a couple of shots where it seems like the noseband is higher on Falcon's face, which is good, but he's still tying it improperly, and that makes me worried when he has those horses on the high line, and if something happens, if an animal shows up, if they get spooked, they sit back, they could do a lot of damage because it's not tied properly. I'm going to assume Pete's is also not tied properly.
Fixing fences today. Pulling these one up. A lot hard with the camera in hand, but just in this great country of Wyoming. Morning, ladies. Okay. Woo, what a country. Tear it. One for the good boy. One for the other good boy. Mr. Pete. Okay. Let's go branding. Branding is one of the greatest experiences you can ever have. Wake up early in the morning with a bunch of cowboys and go gather up some cattle to castrating and brand them. Doesn't sound too crazy, but only those who've done it know how exciting and incredibly rewarding of an experience that is. Very, very few people get to experience it nowadays, and I think it's a shame because it teaches you a bunch of life lessons. So let me break it down. Sort the cows from the calves, and then we rope and drag these calves. Then the flank crew, which I was a part of, pins them down and waits until the other guys get there. They're given shots, then they're tagged and branded. They're bull capped out of luck because they gotta get castrated. Don't worry, it only looks bad. In reality, it doesn't hurt them too bad. Oh, he ain't got it anymore. That day, we branded about 70 calves. Man, was it fun. Finally, we get the cows in the chutes because we got to give them some vax, and then we send them on their way. When we're all done, we head over to the restaurant where we eat a shit ton of food all together and talk about our day. And that's a branding. You okay, buddy? Hope he's not colicking. He's not sweating. You're good, Pete. You'll be all right. We're gonna take care of you. You'll be all right.
Can't say we didn't warn you. This makes me livid because we told you that colic was coming with the diet that you were feeding these horses or not feeding these horses. The dehydration was going to cause colic. My question is, after you administered the banamine, first of all, did you take off the saddle? Second, what was the protocol you followed afterwards? Was banamine your one-stop shop, your cure-all? Because all banamine is a muscle relaxer. It just hides the symptoms. If there's an impaction, they're just not going to feel it as much. The impaction will still be there. And with changing grain, with feeding only here and there, with riding them hard and then feeding them grain, these are all things that are going to cause colic. Dehydration, going to cause colic. What is your plan when one of them drops and doesn't get back up? Or both of them drop? Because it's coming. We warned you that that Falcon was gonna plateau, and then all of a sudden was just gonna drop weight significantly. And here we see that. We told you the colic was coming, and now we see that. And now we're telling you that there's going to be one of them that drops and doesn't get back up. What are you going to do about it? Anybody that sees this douche canoe out in the Grand Teton area, Wyoming, Wilson, Jackson Hole, anywhere in between, going up through Idaho by Victor, going up through to Yellowstone, any of these places, if you see him, let us know, because we do have law enforcement and animal welfare agencies, state animal welfare agencies, waiting for him in certain jurisdictions. We just need where he is, a photo or video confirming that it's him, a location and direction of travel. And if you can keep eyes on him until law enforcement gets there, even better. We've all had enough. Your horses have had enough. And they're telling you with their body condition. You're going down as the biggest villain in the equine community since the girl and the trainer were cattle prodding their horses. That's where you're at. Congrats. Here's the thing with colic and banamine. Banamine is great to relieve the pain that they're in, and if they're having a mild colic, will help them to pass whatever it was, because it's a muscle relaxer. The problem is that it masks whatever symptoms that they are having if they have a bigger issue going on, and I can guarantee you that he's got bigger issues than a slight impaction or gas colic. I'm not a vet, but I bet my last dollar that he is having a bigger issue than that. Likely severe dehydration. My fear is that he's going to go feed this horse a bunch of grain afterwards, thinking that that's going to solve the problem. And that is not what you do during a colic episode. Or that he's going to see the banamine making him feel better and think, oh, all is well. Move it on. Let's get back to work. Yet the horse is still colicking. He's just not feeling the symptoms because he's on banamine. When you're an inexperienced horse, I want to call him a horseman. When you're an inexperienced person dealing with colic There's so many different things that you should be doing. And one of them, if you are inexperienced, take him to the damn vet. Take him to the vet, because only they are going to know what type of colic this is and how to handle it. Just administering banamine on a severe colic is not the solution. This is really worrisome. So we'll keep an eye. But if Pete really is having a severe colic episode, as he states, then banamine's just going to mask it for the next 12 hours. And depending on what he does within that 12 hours is going to define Pete's fate.
Moose. Look at that.
Little baby is the real young bull.